The Getting Started series of tutorials is designed to help you make your transition into RPM as easy and simple as possible. In Part 2, we looked at importing payees, vendors, and relations. In this tutorial, we cover setting up a payee by adding some additional payee data and connecting relationships and bills. Notice how most of these alerts are hyperlinked. Each link is designed to take you to the place where the alert can be resolved or for more information. Let's start with Carolyn, who we imported into RPM in the last tutorial. Notice we have a missing birthday alert for her. By clicking on the alert, it takes me right to her edit screen where I can enter her birthday. But let's also look at the traditional way to get there. Click on Payees and on Carolyn's name. This is her dashboard. By clicking on her name, you are taken to her edit screen. As you can see, the link on the home page was much faster because of the alert. So let's fix a few things while we're here. First, we'll enter her birthday and enter her SSI benefit amount. While we're here, let's take a look at some other fields. Is the payment frequency correct? I'll set her to bi-monthly. What about the expense accounts and how they're split? Well, they look good to me. I'm unsure Carolyn's Social Security payment will be deposited on the 1st, so I'll suspend her to exclude her from full execution for now. I can execute her separately after everyone else has been done for the next month. Then let's click Save. Next, let's add Carolyn's relationships. Click New Relationship, select the relation, and select the type of relationship. If we don't have the relation entered, then click Create New Relation and set them up. Otherwise, click Save. Let's add another relationship, her doctor. Now you can quickly see her relationships and the most important contact information: email, phone, and notes. By the way, you can edit the relation directly by clicking on Bob's name, which is different than editing the relationship. A relation is a person, a relationship is a connection. Let's get to the bills and click New Bill. Since this screen is so important, we need to explore in greater detail what is available. The To Print checkbox is checked by default. But if you're going to pay this bill other than by check, then uncheck the box. Click on Date and select the next due date for this bill. If the date is set in the past or beyond the upcoming month, it will not execute until the date falls inside the next execution. For example, if your last execution date was June and you set the due date for May, it will never execute. If you set the due date for August, it will not execute until after the July execution. Select Pay to the Order Of. We'll choose Acme Payee Services. We'll enter $41 and add a memo that will help to identify Carolyn in the splits of QuickBooks. Select the expense account, Payee Fees, and enter the full amount since there is only one split. Notice this form has a bunch of help symbols. Because of this, I'll only cover a few more fields. If you have a bill where the amount may change from month to month, check the box Amount Varies. This will prevent the bill from being included in the execution until after you get the statement, enter the actual amount, and check the box Updated for the month. After execution, or after you pay the bill, it will uncheck the updated box, and if you've entered a budget amount, that amount will be entered into the amount field of the check. Setting a budget amount helps you to reserve enough money to cover the bill next month. As you will see a little later, the bill amounts are totaled and the payee payments are calculated on the remainder. The last thing to note is the Suspend checkbox. This will remove the bill from execution and bill summary totals until you uncheck it and correct the due date. Click Save. Let's add one more bill for the rent. Select the date, the vendor, amount. We'll enter a helpful memo so the recipient will know which renter to apply it to. expense account, and finally a note to help me see what the bill is for. Then let's save it. Before we stop, let's take a look at the account summary section. Notice the total income, total bills. Again, if the bill is suspended or outside the date range of the next execution, it will not be included in this total. We didn't set a reserve, so here is the total spending amount for the payee. Based on our choice for Carolyn of twice monthly, here are the amount of her checks and the dates of those checks. Finally, notice the balance after execution. If you set an override, you will see another balance after execution. So let's do that. I'll set the override at $175. Notice instead of a balance after of 0, we now have a balance of $17. Seeing Carolyn's checks will be over $100, I know my bank will charge a fee. So I'll go back to her edit screen and check the box to limit checks by config amount. Because I set the config at $100, her check of $175 will be split into two checks, $100 and a $75 check. Carolyn has some back payments, and there are some notes we need to enter. We'll take care of that in the next video. RPM, Real Payee Management, designed for the job.